Welcome viewers, you're watching Macattack, and in this video I'll be going over all of the distinct lightsaber colours and their meanings. Green. The green lightsaber blade represents the Jedi consular. These were more pacifistic Jedi. They either disliked violence or preferred the study of other aspects of life. As a result, they tended not to be such good warriors and swordsmen, instead being more diplomatic and generally stronger in the Force. This isn't to say they cannot be competent in a fight, it's just that they are more likely to use other means to achieve victory. Blue. The blue lightsaber blade represents the Jedi Guardian. Basically the opposite of a Jedi consular, Jedi Guardians prefer a more straightforward approach, seeking to end an issue as quickly as possible. Because of this more forward approach, Guardians tended to be better warriors and more skillful lightsaber wielders. They also tended not to be so focused on the Force or any other more pacifistic methods. Red. The red lightsaber blade represents the dark side of the Force. In Legends, it is focused through a synthetic crystal created by the dark side, whilst in Canon it is a natural crystal that has been corrupted or bled with the dark side. Wielders of this colour tended to be more violent, unpredictable, and less moral than other colours. They would use their aggression to get a job done, often with disregard to the effect on other beings. Purple. As the colour would indicate, the purple blade's philosophy is a mixture of that of the red and blue blades. They are wielded by those who follow the Guardian methods of combat over diplomacy, but their methods of going about it are similar to that of the dark side. Wielders of a purple blade utilise aspects of, or have connections to, the dark side of the Force, whether it be the aggression demonstrated in combat, or the lack of sentiment for other beings. They very much follow the Jedi way, but with more questionable methods. They use the dark side as a way of better achieving their goal in the light, and as a result they walk a fine line between staying balanced and falling to the darkness. Yellow. The yellow lightsaber blade represents the Jedi Sentinel. These Jedi balance the views of the Jedi Guardians and Consulars, in a way the all-rounders of the Jedi Order. They also tend to follow very narrow fields of expertise, whether it be guarding the temple, reconnaissance, surveillance or tracking. They tend to be more detached than the rest of the Order, and other than the temple guards, are seldom seen around the temple. They tend to live life more discreetly, merging in with the other beings of the galaxy, and going about their tasks mostly under the radar. Orange. The orange lightsaber was also a part of the Sentinel class, but was a sort of mix between the yellow and green blades. The Jedi with an orange lightsaber tended to focus more on the peaceful aspects of the Force, while simultaneously carrying out discrete missions revolving around very narrow areas of expertise. Because of these factors, it is rare to see an orange blade, and those who wield them mostly stay out of the main affairs of the galaxy. They tend to be even more stubborn than consulars, often avoiding conflict altogether and living in harmony all their lives. Turquoise. As the colour suggests, a turquoise lightsaber is a blend of blue and green philosophy. Like the yellow, they are sort of all-rounders. However, unlike yellow, they fall more generally into the Order as a whole, rather than having specific areas of expertise. The reason for the rarity of the blade is probably along the lines of the fact that Jedi tend to specialise and study what they are good at or believe in, whether that be combat or the Force, etc. Very few Jedi choose to study everything, but not in much detail, instead opting to become more masterful in a certain aspect, as with the Jedi Guardian or Consulars. White. The white lightsaber represents Jedi who no longer see active duty under the command of the Jedi Order. This could be for two reasons. Either because the individual has retired due to necessity, such as old age or injury, meaning they are physically incapable of a field mission, or because they have peacefully left the Order. Those who have retired from active service tend to hold a more philosophical outlook, and often take on more of a teaching role. This is what they would be best suited to do due to their experience in the field, and inability to continue active service, essentially confined to the temple. The white saber is still very much a part of Jedi philosophy, and those who wield it are no longer part of the Order must still be adherent to the beliefs that the Jedi hold. We now move on to the really obscure lightsaber colours, the meanings of which will be mostly, or wholly, speculation on my part. The black blade is a bit of a black sheep, and it is unclear what it truly is. it may not be a lightsaber at all, at least not in the general sense, perhaps being more in line with ancient Force sabers powered by the dark side. The colour, name, and the fact that the Jedi had locked the blade away in the temple all suggest that the Jedi fear using it. It therefore more likely falls into the philosophy of the red blade than any other. Given that the weapon is of Mandalorian origin, and given the fact that all those who have been seen wielding it have aggressive nature, this could be seen as a trait associated with it, though this may simply be the luck of who the weapon fell into the hands of. Pink. The pink lightsaber is very rare, and as a result I have very little to go off of, other than the colour. We know it is a Jedi lightsaber, and given that pink is just watered down red, one theory is that the pink blade could represent a Jedi who has come back from the dark side, or is in the process of doing so. This is very rarely seen, and would explain the rarity of the blade. The other option, and in my opinion the most likely, is to do with what the colour represents. It is a warm colour, and represents love and passion, essentially emotion. As a result, this may belong to a very warm and considerate Jedi, who is compassionate towards all beings they meet, showing a large amount of empathy. Again, this is in line with its rarity, as a Jedi is supposed to detach themselves from emotion and live in peace. Gold. The gold lightsaber appears to be wielded in the hands of those who first and foremost, maybe even above the Jedi Order, serve the light side of the Force, and the harmony of it. They are very detached individuals, seeking little else but peace. They may spend great amounts of time in meditation to preserve the soul and the spirit. This isn't to say they cannot fight should they need to, much like Jedi consulars, but it certainly wouldn't be their primary approach. Silver. The silver lightsaber is also very rare, and I struggle to see any affiliation it holds. It may and it may not be attached to the Jedi Order, but those who wield it hold more of a neutral stance in the Force. They seek their own goals, sort of like the Sith, but aren't interested in involving power or domination, and don't give themselves fully over to the dark side. They have often been seen banding together as part of a team, perhaps working together to achieve common goals, and don't appear to hold a quarrel with any particular faction. They have also been seen, in the form of the Imperial Knights, serving a leader, perhaps pursuing their goals for them. Bronze. With only one appearance, it is nigh impossible to piece together anything about this lightsaber colour. Being in the hands of a Wookiee is all I can really go off of. However, this doesn't appear significant, as we have seen Wookiees wielding all manner of different colours. My only guess would be its association with nature, as this seems a prominent theme in the image we see it in, and would fit in with the culture and environment of a Wookiee. It is possible that those who wield a bronze blade seek harmony with nature and all life in the galaxy, kind of the exact opposite of a Sith. This is an odd and rather precise mindset for someone to have. Maybe that's why it's so rare. And so there are all the main types. Feel free to leave in the comments what type you would choose, as well as any theories you have regarding the last four, as they are quite speculative. If you enjoyed the video, tap the like button, and if you loved it, subscribe as well. Keep the comments PG, and may the Force be with you.